Hi, my name's Ilma and welcome to my channel. I've been posting Christian blogs 12 straight years every day. Today I'd like to share Genesis 35 verses 16 to 22. Here's the word of God. Then they journeyed from Bethel. When they were still some distance from Ephrath, Rachel went into labor, and she had hard labor. And when her labor was at its hardest, the midwife said to her, "Do not fear, for you have another son." And as her soul was departing, for she was dying, she called his name Ben-oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died, and she was buried on the way to Ephrath, that is Bethlehem. And Jacob set up a pillar over her tomb. It is the pillar of Rachel's tomb, which is there to this day. Israel journeyed on and pitched his tent beyond the tower of Eder. While Israel lived in that land, Reuben went and lay with Bilhah, his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. Genesis 35:16 to 22. Here's the poem I wrote inspired by those verses. Rachel dies giving birth to Benjamin. After Jacob set up an altar in Bethel, they continued their journey. Rachel was with child during this travel and was suffering. Before they arrived in Ephrath, Rachel went into labor. She had a very difficult childbirth, then a son was born to her. Rachel didn't make it, but the child did, and she called him Ben-oni. Jacob called him Benjamin instead, which means son of my right hand. And here's my essay. We hear two deaths in Jacob's household, one after the other. First, it was the nurse of Rachel, Deborah, who died, and then Rachel herself followed after giving birth to Benjamin. Perhaps the loss of Deborah and Rachel couldn't be a payoff for the slaughter of men of Shechem by Simeon and Levi, but sins always have a consequence when they are born. Rachel, before she died, called her son Ben-oni, which means the son of my sorrows. From a commentary, Jacob would probably remember Rachel's sorrow if he called him Ben-oni, which is why he called him Benjamin instead. I think it was God inspired, as we know that the right hand in the Bible is symbolic of power and strength. Rachel was buried where she died nearby Bethlehem. It is interesting that Mary, the mother of Jesus, was also traveling when she gave birth to Jesus in a manger in Bethlehem. God surely planned all these events. Reflection. Why do you think Moses omitted Jacob's mourning for Rachel in this account? Yes, it is interesting because Jacob was so in love with Rachel when they first met, and he worked hard to marry Rachel, working 14 years to marry Rachel. So you would think that there would be an account about his grief and his sorrow during Rachel's death. But if we recall the event before Rachel gave birth to Benjamin, it was when God showed himself to Jacob again in Bethel, and then Jacob's name was changed from Jacob to Israel. So I think that God prepared Jacob for the death of his beloved wife by showing himself to him at Bethel and reiterating the promise that he gave to his grandfather Abraham, that it will all go to him and to his offspring. So I think that also we don't hear a reaction from Jacob when it came to Simeon and Levi killing the Shemites, except that he said that you made my name stink to the Canaanites doing that. But I think it's because God is with him. You know, he had godly sorrow, not manly sorrow, because those are two different things. When you have God in you, you grieve for your loved ones when they die, but you don't grieve like desperate grieving or or hopeless grieving, but you grieve and yet you accept that it is in the hand of God that your loved one died. So I think that is the reason why also Moses didn't put focus on that, because here the focus on this chapter is mostly to the sons of Jacob who did all kinds of sinful things. And in the remainder of this Genesis 35, we will have a glimpse of what the other sins that the other sons were going to do. So it's important for us to grieve, but we should grieve with godly grief, not manly grief, because if we know that God is with us, we know that everything is in God's hands, we know that He is in control, then we do not have to grieve without hope. But we know that our grief will be appeased by the love of God for us and His presence in His life. Thanks for watching. I hope you check my website at ILMA'S.com for artworks, photographs, and a copy of this blog. Please subscribe to my channel on YouTube so I can make more videos and give you the Word of God. And if you haven't already, check over 3,000 videos I've done. All these 12 years I've been doing this daily. Just type on Google or YouTube search ILMA'S Palm Devotional. Have a wonderful day.